We've got a lot to get to. Let's stay in Conference USA, though, with, oh boy, this is certainly a matchup. We have the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, a 6.5-point road favorite at Sam Houston State Bearcats with a K. This game has a blistering over-under of 36.5 points. Game kicks off on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. Looking at the weather down in Huntsville, we are still in the mid-90s, Texas. What are we doing? It's fall. Let's go. Didn't they get the memo? It's going to be 95 on this day. I don't know. It's going to be that at kickoff, probably a little bit less than that. The Jacksonville State coming off what I thought was a really impressive 21-0 shutout win over Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan might be very, very bad, folks. It's not great. I dabbled a little bit in the alt line of minus 20.5 for Jacksonville State at like plus 380, and I was pretty happy about that one. But their leading rusher from last year, Anwar Lewis, he's expected to return this week. He has not played yet this year, or at least a full game. He's gotten some special team snaps. I think in week 2 it was. B rushed for 800 yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground last year, so him coming back is not nothing. And on the other side, Sam Houston State, boy, they just scored their first FBS touchdown, but they got boat raced by Houston 38-7. Grant Gunnell, if the annals of history from college football coming back around, Grant Gunnell, whatever it's pronounced, he's a former Arizona quarterback, and he actually took over the starting job for Sam Houston State this past week. They scored on the very first drive, and then they did not score again the rest of the game against the Houston defense that I don't think is very good. This is just an offense that's entirely broken. They had 11 drives, but only ran 49 scrimmage plays. Like this is 3-and-out city for these guys here. The offensive line got a little bit of a push. They got about 2 line yards per carry, which is good, which is very good, actually. But the running backs just make nothing of it. They have no vision. They have no burst. They're not creating their own plays. I took this one. I have to give credit where credit is due. Kyle Hunter was the one that originally shared this, one of the best handicappers on Twitter. He says that Sam Houston State still does not have a rush of 10 or more yards through 3 games. That's impressive considering this team looks to the ground game pretty often. This is historic levels of bad through their 3 games. They've had a bye week out here, but they've a 20% success rate last game. 20%.
Brutal.
It's brutal. And Jacksonville State's defense, they're actually pretty strong. Most of their metrics, they're top 10 nationally, 4.1 yards per play allowed. They have a plus almost 2 turnover margin, 1.7 turnover margin per game. They have an 11.7, almost 12% sack rate. And that's because they're very athletic in the front 7. They're very fast. They're physical. They're tough, even though they're not very big. Sam Houston State on the other side, their defense has been okay, but they have a 2.6 sack rate, which is the 6th worst nationally. So, for me, this is a one-way street. This is a one team has some redeeming qualities, and the other team is just bad.
Brett just giving it to you like it is. I'll be a little more measured in that one. It's the FBS newbies, so that's something to be excited about. But these two teams are having very different FBS experiences so far. I have Jacksonville State -6. It's a 67% win expectancy for the Gamecocks. I learned a lot from James Madison's FCS to FBS transition last year. When I say I mean the model. But it was still difficult to formulate solid preseason projections for these teams because these transitions don't happen all the time. We're going to get another one next year with Kennesaw State. I did a better job with Sam Houston than Jacksonville State, but I'm going to start with Jacksonville State since they're my projected winner here. The Gamecocks have improved their power rating by 6.9 points this season. That's 9th most in the country. Again, I was probably too low on them coming in, but the model is catching up to a more accurate reflection of what this team's quality is. They have 1.2 more wins currently than I projected through week 4, and their regular season win total has improved from 4.5 to 7.1. The plus 2.6 improvement there is 4th best in the nation. Jacksonville State now number 100 overall. It's the defense that's been most impressive. As you said, they've risen all the way to number 69 this week. And speaking of defense, that's where Sam Houston has been good. I have them ranked number 50. That's the best in the conference. The Bearcats need every bit of that defensive team strength, though, because their offense currently ranks number 133. That is dead last in FBS. Despite the 0-3 start, I'm still projecting 3.5 regular season wins for Sam Houston. That's the exact same number as I projected in my preseason realistic expectations. So again, it's a combination of how has Sam Houston changed in their power rating, and how have the other teams that on their schedule changed to this point. The net effect there is nothing in terms of their projected regular season win total. This game, as you said, Brett, should be all about defense. These defenses are the best units on both of these teams. The offenses are both sub 100, with Sam Houston being 133. So bottom line, I have Jacksonville State -6. It's a 33% chance Sam Houston earns their first win as an FBS program. And I like to do for conference games that, look ahead of what does this do to their chances to make the conference championship game. Well, both these teams are transitioning to FBS, as I mentioned, so they are ineligible for the conference championship game. No impact on those chances for this one.
Kelly, I have a question for you, and I'll buy you some time if you can look it up. You said that Sam Houston State's offense is last in the FBS. By how many points?
Give me one second. I
Yeah.
got to pull it up. Filibuster for me.
While you do that, I know some people are worried about Sam Houston State's defense being really good. You mentioned it. They're 50th best in the conference. But they did just give up 38 points to what I believe is a remedial Houston offense. And I don't even mean remedial for Power 5. I mean remedial nationally. They did just give up 38 to them. I'm going to be honest here. I bet Jacksonville State going away -6.5. This is basically a bet on whether you think Jacksonville State is able to score 2 or more touchdowns. That's the way I'm viewing it right now. The Gamecocks run really fast. They have a very, very fast-tempoed offense, so I trust them to be able to find the end zone maybe twice or 3 times. But seriously, I'm just looking at this as a bet of does Jacksonville State score 2+ touchdowns or 2 touchdowns and a field goal, because I have zero faith in Sam Houston State to be able to score more than 7 points.
Yeah, so I found it here. They are dead last. Kent State is my number 132. It's a difference right now of about 2.5 points, probably. Close to a field goal. That is significant when you're talking about where we are within these ratings. I mean, that's a big gap between two teams that are next to each other in the rankings. UConn is currently number 131 on the offensive side of the ball. So yeah, they are the worst offense in FBS, and it's really not particularly close. I'm looking at Kent State's schedule right now too, a resume. They scored 6 points at UCF, 6 points at Arkansas, 38 points against CCSU, Central Connecticut State University. I had to look. I was like, wait, who's that? CCSU, and then 10 points on the road at Fresno State. So they haven't accomplished much on offense either, and I'm saying that Sam Houston is almost a field goal worse than that in the projections. That's significant.